go to the clip.
I will not perjure myself under the orders of a judge. This has never before been done in U.S. history. It's a struggle session right out of communist China or South Africa. This is serious tyranny. Regardless of what you think about me or how the media has twisted what I said over the years, I've apologized for past things I said that hurt people's feelings. But I wasn't the first person to question Sandy Hook, and I apologized years ago. They have misrepresented what I've said and done. There is a whole industry of lawyers around these families that have sued Remington and won $73 million and won all these other lawsuits, and they simply now are not just coming for the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment. This is a travesty of justice, and this judge is a tyrant. This judge is ordering me to say that I'm guilty and to say that I'm a liar. None of that's true. I was not wrong about Sandy Hook on purpose. I questioned it, just like Jussie Smollett, just like WMDs in Iraq, just like Gulf of Tonkin. There have been a lot of staged events in history, like WMDs in Iraq, and I question every major event that we see. And so I'm being put in an impossible position inside of this courthouse where I'm being ordered to say I'm guilty. Has anybody ever heard of someone being ordered to say they're guilty? Even in a criminal trial where they found somebody with dead bodies, if the guilty person wants to get up and say they're innocent, they're allowed to, okay? But I'm being told I must say I'm guilty because they've already defaulted me and say I'm guilty. This is the murder of American justice. This is extremely dangerous, and this is the judicial system on trial. They are using these families for this. They've misrepresented what I've said and done, and they have continued to use my name to fundraise for their gun control organizations. Now they're openly launching an anti-free speech operation. So, I want to thank you all for being here. Do you have any questions? I'm here to testify. I'm here to do what needs to be done. This is now, will be the second time they've changed when they said they'll let us know later when or if they want us here.
So you're not testifying today?
No, I'm not testifying today.
Are you staying in the state? Are you staying in the state?
I'm obviously going to have to sit here until the trial's over because they keep jerking me around, and that's fine. It's just that I'm here to testify, and I'm here to tell the truth. And I told the truth. I apologized on Joe Rogan 4 years ago, episode 1255, for 30 minutes before I was ever sued.
So, Mr. Jones,
hold on, just let me add one more thing. I don't want to be the Sandy Hook man. Okay, it was a very small part of what we covered and did. And I followed a lot of the stuff being reported by 4chan that turned out to be wrong. I believe the children died. I've said that over and over again. In my last trial in Texas, when I apologized to the parents and said, I believe your children died, AP and others ran the headline, for the first time ever, Alex Jones says it happened and apologized. That's a lie. I've been apologizing for 6 years, 4 years ago on Joe Rogan, 3 years ago on Steven Crowder. There's hundreds of apologies. But now when I go on shows, they say, do you want to apologize? I go, no. I've apologized over 100 times. I'm not the guy that started questioning Sandy Hook. I did for a while believe it might have been staged. I thought Jussie Smollett was staged. Turned out I was right. I thought WMDs in Iraq were staged. Turned out I was right. But I did not premeditatedly create this whole story to, quote, make money. It's hurt me over the last 10 years. I had employees basically quit stuff over it 10 years ago or 8 years ago when I first started questioning it for a few years. And so I'm not the Sandy Hook guy. I have apologized over and over again, and I've tried to get these people off my back, and not the families, but the lawyers. And it's the same lawyers now going after other people's free speech, and they've said the case they're running against me, they plan on using against other people's free speech as well. They have an unfair trade practices suit in here, claiming that because I sell supplements, it has something to do with stories I report. They have no connection to each other. So this is all a larger plan to shut down the independent free press because the old dinosaur corporate media has been discredited. So that's what's happening.
Wow. Okay, we have Fanon Rucker with us. He is a retired judge and an attorney. And in studio, my boy, 4041. Give it to Rossi when he was a young basketball player, an excellent lawyer. They've got a war room. I'm still jealous about this at the DOJ called the Rossi War Room. I prosecuted a lot of cases, Gene. I didn't have the Bianchi War Room, but nevertheless, my friend, I'm glad you're here.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah,
honored
awesome.
to be here.
So I'm going to start with you, Gene.
Yeah.
You're in here. I mean, there is so much that I want you to tell me what you think of this. But something that's striking me, Gene, about these cases is these guys love to be in front of a camera where they're not under oath, espousing all sorts of things that are not accurate according to the court record. And I'm not just talking about Mr. Jones. I'm talking about the last 5 years. But when they go into the courtroom, they go in like a lamb because when evidence has to be presented, a lot of the claims they make outside the courtroom are not supported at all inside the courtroom.
All right, Wizard of Oz, the character, the Cowardly Lion, okay, pounds his chest, but then when the Cowardly Lion is confronted with some conflict, they become meek and mild. What is telling about Alex Jones, he loves to run his mouth outside the courtroom, and you're right, Bob, he's not under oath. But you remember the Texas trial, when he was on the stand, he looked very meek and mild. And you and I have tried a lot of cases. Outside the courtroom, drug dealers, defendants, macho men.
Yep.
Macho man, macho men. You get them in the courtroom, and you got a lot of war stories where you started cross-examining them, and they become little children on the stand, because a trial is different, and when you're under oath, it's a lot different. And when he takes a stand in this case, I would confront him with that press conference he just had, because he ran his mouth and he put his foot in his mouth, and he was a total train wreck.